Hello everyone, it's Wayward. We're going to get into some more Sunless Sea gameplay in just a moment, I promise. But first, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's followed me on Twitch or subscribed to this channel in the last few days. I'm amazed and astonished and really grateful for your support. Thank you so much. If you've subscribed to this channel and you'd like to see the gameplay live, then I stream Sunless Sea every Friday evening or Friday afternoon if you're in America, and the link is going up on the screen now. Pretty straightforward, twitch.tv/waywardpython. I'll also put the link down below in the description. Do please follow me there, as it means you get a notification every time I go live, so you won't miss out on anything. If you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't subscribed yet, well, you know where the subscribe button is. Please, again, if you subscribe, then it'll be much easier to find new Sunless Sea content in the future. And while you're there, please press the like button, as it helps to make these videos more visible to new people. Just one more thing, I want to say a big thank you to Reddit user Che Guevara, who brought me to everyone's attention. Che, if you're watching this, muito obrigado. Thank you very much. I want to do a lot more Sunless videos in future, but if there are other games that you'd like me to play, or if there's other content that you'd like me to do, somebody mentioned audiobooks, for example, I'm open to suggestions. Please leave me a comment down below. I'll try to respond to every comment, because it means a lot to me that we're building a community together of people who love this game. So subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitch, give me suggestions, tell everyone you know about this channel. Thank you, delicious friends. Now let's get out there on the wide sea. Okay, here we go. A lot of reading ahead. 2 houses, both alike in dignity. On a lonely desert beach, there is no habitation in sight, no market, only an old rotting dock. A stretch of sand thickens into damp black earth, from which sprout stunted palms? Not quite. Tall fungal growths with frond-like caps, as if someone had sculpted the idea of a tree from a mushroom. Disembark, see what awaits you. War? As you step onto the quay, you hear clamour, shouts and shooting. You can see off in the distance smoke rising from beyond the hill and dots of fire flecking the horizon. 2 tiny figures stand a little further down the quay, unmoving, as if awaiting your approach. A literary interlude. The following is an extract from the popular Diary of a Sea Captain, from London to Irem, and what we did there before we arrived. Washed ashore on Mutton Island and subsequently serialised in the Unexpurgated Gazette. The author's identity remains unknown. The Tale of Pigmote Isle, in which a delegation is made, a choice is presented, war is declared, a most singular treasure is sought by all, and a new empire is founded with tooth and claw. Chapter 1. The Delegation. The figures were rodents. To my left was a Rattus Faber wearing goggles, a blacksmith's apron, and an assortment of tools. To my right, an unusually large guinea pig, wearing a helmet and breastplate reminiscent of nothing so much as the High Middle Ages. The rat stepped forward first and bowed. "Welcome, Captain, to Ratstar Island. I am Edgar, 2nd Chief Engineer of the 3rd Rat Brigade. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice." The rat stepped back. At precisely the same moment, with what appeared to be the ease of long habit, the guinea pig scuttled forward and made a declamatory chirp. "Welcome, Captain, to the Isle of Caviar. I am Lady Augusta Devereux Swinch, of the Blackwater Swinches, Seneschal to our King Graysgnor, first of his name. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice." The two stood at attention, looking at me expectantly. Well, let's speak to them. I spoke to the chief engineer. His eyes had a wave-cold glint to them, and he wore his scars like jewels. A rat in the making. I asked the chief engineer to elaborate. He looked at me for a long, measured moment before speaking gruffly. "We came to this island to make a home for ourselves away from London, its cats and snuffers, its rat-skin suits. We came to live as citizens of our own republic. We came with our tools, our teeth, our clever hands, and we made a beautiful city by the light of the rat star that shone bright and blue on Mount Ararat." The chief engineer nodded towards the distant hill. "One day we braved the depths of the chicken woods, and from the top of Mount Ararat we plucked the rat star to be our light, our beacon. But the pigs of Cavey saw the light, and they lusted for it. They sent armies to rule us and steal our star. We will not permit them to take what is ours. We will resist to our last breath. Will you join us in defeating them?" I spoke to the seneschal. How did an armoured guinea pig manage to look regal? A knight out of habit. The seneschal cleared her throat with a delicacy to rival the Duchess's own before speaking. "Graysgnor the king, our lord and sovereign, full 7 months hath sojourned on the sea, conquered this land, and won the southern main. Now no fortress against him shall remain, no city walls be left for him to gain, save the rats that squeak behind mountain. Unlikely was the lamb of our deliverance, assured shall be our glories and their fall, when our lady's eye restored be to our hall." The seneschal composed herself, then added, "We saw truth and beauty by the light of our lady's eye on Mount Caveat, but the rats, with their guns and their chatter and their peasants' politics, stole it from us. We will subjugate them and take it back. They are a rabble, and we will rule them with the steel-shod velvet of our paws. Will you join us?" I had heard more than enough. I was ready to make my choice. "Well, chat, do you think I should side with the rats or the guinea pigs? Or shall I attempt to make peace between them? Now, I know that last option doesn't get you anywhere because they force you to make a choice. So, what's it going to be, rats or guinea pigs? There'll be a little bit of a lag in the chat, so I'll wait if there are any suggestions. It gives me a chance to recover my voice. Rats or guinea pigs, chat? There is no wrong answer. I do know which side I favour, but I'm going to give you a chance to sway me the other way. Nope. Okay. So, on the grounds that I think you can get a new mascot out of it, I'm going to go with the guinea pigs. So I favoured the seneschal. Was it her charm or a fondness for London's rat-skin coats that swayed me? Perhaps a little of both. At any rate, I was keen to find out more about their civilization. A friend to Cavies. I bowed to the seneschal, who purred with pleasure, while the chief engineer gnashed his teeth but kept his distance. "You have chosen wisely, Captain," said the seneschal. "Come, and I will explain our situation to you in greater detail. That's fine as long as I don't have to keep doing this voice. Well, we got some free fuel and supplies out of it, at least. Chapter 3, A Night Out of Habit. The seneschal led me to the southern side of the island, skirting the chicken woods. We passed through a number of raised mounds of earth mixed with fortifying strips of mushroom flesh, which I supposed to be makeshift walls. The settlement was dazzling. This side of the island appeared to be absolutely wreathed in scintillac. The cavy's dwelling was awash with silver phosphorescence. It was a large colony. Most noticeable was the steam pinnace, the impossible lamb, that had run aground, from which cavies came and went bearing supplies. To the right of the ship, farther down the beach, a large group of cavies lay on bundles of colourful cloth, whining and wailing as if in pain. To the left of the ship was a ramshackle tent of poles and linen, in front of which guinea pigs clashed against each other and sharpened their teeth. In the centre of the village was a covered dais, veritably festooned with colourful cloth and guarded by well-decorated knights. I suspected this was where King Gracenor kept counsel. "Be welcome, Captain, in the kingdom of Cavia, capital of our isle, and blessed by the light of Our Lady's eye." The seneschal spoke solemnly, but with a hint of sadness to her words. "Also it was, and shall be again. I must speak with our king, and prepare your arrival. My page will show you the area, and bring you in sight of his splendour in good time. Page!" A much smaller guinea pig, its fur braided with a slender strip of parabola linen, scurried over and bowed. The seneschal took her leave. So, let us go and visit the hospital. Were those guinea pigs quarantined? The Black Death. An elderly-looking cavy greeted me, eyeing me gravely. "Many of us sickened during the voyage, a rotting in our teeth, a weakness in the flesh. This isle was our salvation. The stronger among us made a pilgrimage towards the pool of Our Lady's light, and then, miracle of miracles, they were cured. They bathed in her, they drank her sweet waters, and the strong brought the weak to her in turn. Soon we were thriving again, bearing our children and raising them to love Our Lady's eye and see in it our deliverance." The elder looked sorrowfully at the sick under his care. "Since the rat stole her, the sickness has returned. All this light is but a mockery of hers, and we gain from it no benefit. The only thing," the elder's ears and voice flattened in a hiss, "that helps our condition is the flesh, the very hearts and livers of the rats who stole her from us." Right, I thought I'd done this bit, but no. Oh yes, I think we have. Yes, we have. So let's go to the steam penance. Was this indeed the impossible lamb? Wasn't it reported overrun by rats? A chalky shore. The page chittered while I inspected the vessel. "Rats? Never. The splendour of Cavia overtook this vessel. I was born here, the first native of Cavia, but all our elders remember the voyage. It was hard, they say, but we were harder. But the sea is black and unkind. We were lost in the dark for weeks, and no one speaks of those terrible times. But out of the darkness came the light of Our Lady's eye, guiding us here to our own isle. In time we will ride the waves again, perhaps, once we have recovered our eye. Is it not splendid?" It certainly may have been at one time, but I could see the hull had been severely damaged by the scintillac reef. There was no way the cavies could hope to repair it themselves. Whatever the page said, they were stranded here. I'd visited the barracks. What chance could guinea pigs stand against the weaponed might of the Rattus Faber? Evening the odds. The page led me to the barracks where the knights didn't deign to speak to one so undecorated as I. The page, however, was eager to answer my questions. The rats have no weapons, none to speak of. What is a gun without a bullet, a sword without a blade? Ours are the supplies, the knives, the soft stuffs, and the glory. Their teeth are sharp, it is true, while ours... The page hesitated as the knights glowered at him. Are sharper. All praise to the flowers of the house of Cavey. One knight preened, while another grunted indifference, working a whetstone along its top front teeth. As I watched, a particularly vigorous swipe knocked a whole incisor out of place. It landed on the ground in a black and bloody mess. The knight gasped, grasped the tooth, and vanished from sight. Another glared in a way that dared me to make something of it. I had seen enough. It was time for my audience with the king. The page led me, crouching at first and then on my knees, before King Gracenor and the seneschal. The king was the largest guinea pig I had ever seen, easily twice the size of the largest knight in his retinue. The seneschal looked positively dainty next to him. "We are told," intoned the king, "that you have promised your assistance to the house of Cavey. This is agreeable to us. But what form shall your assistance take?" Okay, so we have a choice here. The odds are good. So we can retrieve the lady's eye by force, or we can try to steal it with cunning. So let's see what our chances are. 75% to go with force, 76% to go with cunning. I honestly don't know, because I don't think I've ever encountered this part of the game with such high stats before. So, although our odds are good, we did fail a high chance check at Wither. I think we'll go with a very slightly better chance, which is Vales. So I plotted to steal the eye with cunning. One should use shadows to catch a light. The rats would not even know we'd been there. Probably. Did we pass? We did pass. Good. Ships in the night. I spent a few hours scouting the rats' shoreline, determining the best point of approach. There. A cove thick with chickenwood, too small and cramped for guards to fear the mooring of a boat. My crew rowed me towards the very knife's edge of shadow cast by the blazing eye, and I carefully swam the rest. From shore it was an easy enough matter to pick my way towards the settlement, and once I was within 20 feet of the eye, I sprinted. The rats shouted in alarm and scurried towards me, but my legs easily outpaced them. I smothered the eye in my wet clothing and bound with it towards the boat waiting in the shallows, while the rats around me fired wildly into the sudden dimness, wailing their loss to the sea. The Caveys rewarded me suitably on my return. Okay, so our might is now 4. Which is actually quite good, even though it says vulnerable. Our spirit is now 3, our civilization is now 5, and we've got 10 fuel. Hey, good, we need that. So I can definitely look for the salt lines. Let us see. Yes, here we go. I invited one of the Caveys to join. Let's do the bit at the top. Chapter 5, A Nation Rises. The rats were defeated. Cavia was triumphant. All that remained were the celebrations and the continuation of our voyage. Oh, how we feasted long into the night. So I invited one of the cavies to join us. They were reputed to be excellent swimmers, adorable enough to boost morale, and if times should become lean, I thought maybe a guinea pig stew would buy the crew a day or two before they started eating each other. Very practical. Welcome aboard. The Seneschal, of course, couldn't abandon her duties, but she made certain my request was cried out in the village square. The page squeaked excitedly and sought permission from her to join my party. "I will record your doings for the glory of Cavie," he declared, "and I'd like to see more of the world." I waited for him to gather up some effects and say goodbye to his family before lifting anchor and setting off. So we now have a guinea page. Shall we speak up on behalf of the rats? I do like to be a nice person, so I think we should do that. The survivors were being treated poorly, but the rift did not seem entirely insurmountable. The spoils of war. I appealed to the House of Cavie's grace and good breeding, and praised King Gracenor's magnanimity. Perhaps the rats knew not what they did in stealing the eye. Perhaps they were only stumbling about in the dark for a light, as the cavies were themselves while lost at sea. The Seneschal and the king exchanged a look. The Seneschal murmured something into the king's ear, and he growled deep in his throat. "You saw only the frond tip of our suffering, Captain. The rats must answer for every drop of noble blood spilt, and in kind. We will require a great many hearts and livers to repair the health of our great kingdom. Our young shall eat their old, as is meet." The king's courtiers chittered appreciatively at his wordplay, while the knights separated the screaming young rats from the adults who had given up trying to fight. Oh dear. The wide, dark sea beckoned. We had eaten our fill, and our business was concluded. It was time to continue our voyage and see what other wonders and terrors still awaited us. The end. There. You finish your diary entry and the final morsels of delicious rat flesh. The cavies line up to salute you as you leave the victory banquet, escorting you to your ship through the foundations of their new kingdom. Good. A new nation has been founded. Splendid, so we'll be able to go back. And we have a new officer who will increase our pages, although actually the Blemigan will not only increase our pages but will also increase our mirrors, so we've not really gained anything there. Ah well, never mind, it was a good story.